Barry Allen wakes up in what feels like a dream. Then he sees her, his mother, Nora Allen, alive. For a moment, the world stops. Barry's eyes well with tears as he rushes into her arms, overwhelmed by joy and disbelief. "Mom!" For a moment, it feels like everything is perfect, but beneath that happiness, something isn't right. Barry's powers are gone, and the world outside his home feels wrong. Confused and desperate for answers, Barry travels to Gotham City, hoping Bruce Wayne can help make sense of the fractured world. But when he arrives at Wayne Manor, something is off. The mansion is cold and damaged, its familiar warmth gone. Barry enters the Batcave, but it's darker, cruder, with outdated tech and unfamiliar suits lining the walls. Before he can gather his thoughts, Batman ambushes him from the shadows, throwing him violently across the cave. Barry scrambles to his feet, trying to explain who he is, but the masked figure doesn't listen. Instead, he punches Barry again and again. Bleeding and cornered, Barry finally yells, "Bruce is your son!" The room falls silent. Barry, stunned by the realization himself, whispers, "You're Thomas Wayne." And he's right. In this timeline, it was Bruce who died in the alley. Thomas survived and became a Batman shaped by grief, guilt, and vengeance. With his memories fading and time running out, Barry begs Thomas Wayne to help him restore his powers. He explains that the only way to fix this world is to recreate the accident that gave him his speed. Thomas is skeptical, but when Barry begins forgetting crucial details, he realizes Barry might be telling the truth. They gather the supplies. The two set everything up on the roof of Wayne Manor, under a dark, stormy sky. Barry straps himself in, soaked in chemicals, while Thomas readies the switch. The lightning crashes, and the blast is violent. Barry is engulfed in flames. His body is charred and broken. Thomas pulls him back inside, treats his burns, and urges him to stop. But Barry insists they try again. A second storm brews. They reset everything. Lightning strikes, and this time, it works. The energy surges through Barry, and in a flash, he vanishes from the chair in a blur of yellow lightning. The explosion knocks Thomas off the roof, but before he hits the ground, Barry reappears and catches him at super speed, saving his life. Still smoldering and covered in burns, and says, "I told you." As Barry regains his strength, he learns more about this broken world. A global war is erupting between Wonder Woman and the Amazons and Aquaman's Atlanteans, who have flooded Western Europe. Millions have already died. Superman, meanwhile, crash-landed in Metropolis and was immediately taken by the government. He's been locked away underground ever since. The Flash, Batman, and Cyborg plan to free Superman from his government captors. They infiltrate the underground facility where he is held, finding a pale, emaciated figure, Kal-El, known only as Subject 1. They expose him to yellow sunlight, restoring his strength and powers. However, overwhelmed and frightened, Kal-El flees. Suddenly, government soldiers swarm in, surrounding Barry, Batman, and Cyborg. Outnumbered and under heavy fire, they struggle to hold their ground. A swirling tempest of molten metal and earth erupts nearby. From the storm emerges Element Woman. With swift, precise strikes, she disables the soldiers, clearing the way for the group to escape. Barry teams up with Thomas Wayne, Cyborg, Element Woman, and the Marvel family to stop the war. But they're too late. Betrayal strikes. Enchantress reveals herself as a spy for the Amazons, and in the chaos, Wonder Woman kills Billy Batson, severing the power of Shazam and unleashing a magical explosion that devastates the battlefield. Then comes Reverse Flash, Eobard Thawne. He reveals the truth. Barry wasn't an innocent victim. He did this. He caused Flashpoint. "You created this world when you went back to save your mother," Thawne taunts. "You fractured time itself." Barry had raced back in time to prevent Nora Allen's death, and in doing so, he pulled the Speed Force into himself and shattered the timeline. Before Thawne can deliver the fatal blow to Barry, the two locked in a brutal, lightning-fueled battle, time itself seeming to ripple around them. Barry fights desperately, dodging and countering, but Thawne's speed and viciousness begin to overwhelm him. Just as the Reverse Flash's hand lashes out to strike Barry down, Thomas Wayne appears in a flash of determination. Thomas lunges forward, plunging an Amazonian sword deep into Thawne's back. The weapon pierces through Thawne's defenses, and with a strangled scream, Thawne collapses. The war between the Amazons and Atlanteans has spiraled out of control, and the timeline itself begins to unravel, reality fraying at the edges. However, Barry sees Superman finally return and slam down into the ground. "No more," he says, as he destroys everyone in his path. Thomas looks to Barry and says, "You must fix this. Put it right before everything dies." Barry runs, faster than ever before, into the Speed Force, chasing the moment when he saved his mother. He sees himself standing in her kitchen and realizes the truth. He must let her die. Tearfully, Barry pulls his past self away, preventing the timeline from splintering again. As he does, Barry glimpses something more. 3 universes: the DC universe, the Vertigo universe, and the Wildstrom universe, begin to merge. A mysterious hooded woman, later revealed to be Pandora, tells Barry this was no accident. Barry awakens in his lab. Time has been rewritten again. He visits Bruce Wayne and hands him a letter written by Thomas in the Flashpoint timeline. Bruce reads it. For a moment, his face crumbles. Tears fall. "Thank you," he says quietly. Barry smiles.